The next concept we're going to take up is critical thinking. Now, this is very common rhetoric in education. Most times we treat the idea of critical thinking very superficially. As teachers, we say we are teaching for critical thinking, but oftentimes the way we teach suggests otherwise. And that's usually because it's hard. It's not straightforward. It's challenging. One of my favorite sayings in education is that all teachers want to produce a class of critical thinkers, but no one wants to have a class of critical thinkers. Now, in this class, I'd like us to be critical thinkers of social constructions, of ideas, of each other, of me and my ideas, in respectful and constructive ways. So critical thinking often gets a bad rap because of this word critical. We often associate that with meaning to disapprove or to cut something up. Oh, this food is so gross. Oh, that's a dumb idea. So someone or being critical of someone else. But in this sense, we're focusing on the word critical that has a different meaning that actually comes from Greek heritage, and actually two Greek words, one meaning judgment, the other meaning crisis, as in a critical analysis. It comes from the idea of renewing and structuring. And that's the way we're going to think about this idea of critical in critical thinking. You can also think about a critique, like a film critique, for example. We read movie critiques, and there's in them, there's a thorough review of the movie, and then an assessment of its strong points and its weaker points. It's basically an analysis of the movie. That's the kind of critical I want us to think of in critical thinking. So how will we go about this? Well, one way is to ask questions. Many questions, deep questions. Who, what, where, when, and why. I mean, why is certainly important, but I really like who and when. For example, when was that construct developed, invented, or created? When and where does the word come from? Etymology is a great tool for critical thinkers. But then also who? I mean, who created it? Who does it benefit? Who does it not benefit? And then how would you apply these questions to certain social constructions? When you ask these list of questions, ask them about the family, about gender, about the way school is constructed, about our economic systems, and how the production of wealth is distributed. Who has advantages in these constructions, and who is disadvantaged? How are these constructions formed? Under what conditions? Just asking many of these kinds of questions. And also, what questions have others not thought of? But then it doesn't stop there. We also need to ask questions about how we seek to answer these questions. How would different people with different perspectives answer each one of these questions? Can you look at these from various perspectives? For example, if we were to answer using logic, or using indigenous perspectives, or lived experiences of the winners, or versus the losers, academic and scientific research, and others, how would we answer all of these questions using different vantage points? We also need to question our own assumptions about how we answer these questions. So this is not just an intellectual process either. It's about also developing certain dispositions, becoming more introspective, becoming more inquisitive, patient, and reflexive. So our goal is to be critical of the social constructions that exist in and out of education, being critical about our own assumptions, about our own understandings, our own biases, and those of our peers, of mine, and to challenge all these in constructive and respectful and thought-building ways.